Herman Webster Mudgett, known for his pseudonym H. Holmes, was an American killer who confessed having committed 27 crimes, though around 200 are attributed to him. He was born in Gilmanton, New Hampshire, in the northeast of the US on May 16, 1861. He was the son of Levi Horton Mudgett, a farmer, and Theodate Page Price, a teacher. He had two older siblings, Ellen and Arthur, and two younger ones, Henry and Mary. His parents were very religious and faithful, and apart from a very strict education, it's likely that he was abused as a child. He was a very well-behaved student and finished high school when he was 16 years old. At the age of 17, he got married to Clara Lovering, who came from a rich family. They had a son together, Robert. When he turned 23 years old, he graduated from the University of Michigan with a degree in medicine, all while working at the anatomy lab. His wife separated from him and got far away due to his abuse towards her. He then lived between New York and Philadelphia for a while, where he was involved in several crimes. In fact, while in university, he would steal corpses and use them to scam insurance companies. He finally settled in Chicago and changed his name to Henry Howard Holmes to avoid suspicion. He married two other times, both with rich women. Curiously enough, he never divorced legally from his first wife, and he later on had another daughter, Lucy Theodate Holmes. He started working at a pharmacy and became a respected man in his neighborhood. Taking advantage of this, he decided to take a step forward in his perversity, constructing a building on the front lot he could use for his criminal purposes. This building went down in history as the Martyr Castle. It was a building with 4 floors. The basement, the ground floor with different commercial stores, a first floor of apartments, and a second floor with more rooms and private offices owned by Holmes. His plan was to turn that building into a big hotel and take advantage of Chicago's World Expo, which would attract thousands of tourists to the city. To build it, he resorted to different companies. He would stop paying one company so it would stop its work, and then would hire a different company to take its place. By doing that, only he would know in detail all the ins and outs of the building. It was filled with secret passages and spy holes in the rooms that Holmes used to spy on his customers. There were also hidden trapdoors that led to the exit. A hole in the elevator connecting the basement to Holmes' office, as well as hidden slides also leading there. There were hermetic rooms sealed with steel plates and gas outlets that could be activated from the outside. Another room was a dungeon filled with torture machines designed by Holmes himself. Underground, there was an electrical installation connected to a panel in his office, which allowed him to control visitors coming in and out of the building. But the true hell was in the basement. In there, he would use surgical tables and medical instruments to dissect his victims and remove their flesh. He would then sell the organs in the black market and the skeletons to medical institutions. Holmes would then get rid of the remains of the bodies by throwing them to a pit filled with quicklime. He would also use buckets of sulfuric acid, or just incinerate them in a big crematory oven. Holmes attracted his clients with very cheap prices, while also offering work to women who stayed at the hotel. Many female candidates arrived there, and he would keep them occupied with meaningless tasks, while he earned their trust. In exchange of a promise of marriage, he would convince them to transfer their property to him, and he would take out life insurance for them, to then claim and cash out that insurance using a fake identity. After achieving his goal with a woman, he would get rid of her by choking or torturing her to death. Sometimes he would simply drug them with chloroform and then throw them alive to the quicklime pit while they were unconscious. When the World Expo ended, Holmes' income went right down. To keep maintaining his lifestyle, he simulated an accidental fire in his building to claim the insurance, but it didn't burn out completely. The insurance company commissioned an investigation to the famous Pinkerton Detective Agency. When he saw himself cornered, Holmes escaped from the city. While in Philadelphia, incapable of following a modest and honest lifestyle, Holmes devised a new plan with the help of his accomplice Benjamin Pitessel. They would simulate Pitessel's death using the disfigured corpse of someone else in order to claim and cash out the corresponding life insurance. But when the time came, Holmes actually killed Pitessel. He lied to Pitessel's wife, assuring her that he was hiding, and managed to get the custody of 3 of Pitessel's children, Alice, Nellie, and Howard, until claiming the insurance money. However, the detectives from the Pinkerton agency were breathing down Holmes' neck, and he went on the run through different states. Meanwhile, Holmes had to get rid of the kids. He locked the girls up in a crate and asphyxiated them using poison gas. He then choked the boy to death. The detectives found the corpses of the children and started to tie the loose ends about the criminal history of Holmes. He was finally captured in Boston in 1894. He was taken to court and was accused of murdering Benjamin Pitessel and his children. When Holmes came back to his hotel in Chicago, his network of traps and the horrifying basement were finally discovered. But Holmes could not be incriminated for that. However, there was no need. He was sentenced to the death penalty and was hanged at the Moyamensing prison in Philadelphia on May 7, 1896. During his execution, his neck didn't break, so he had to agonize for 15 minutes while strangled. As a last wish, he asked to be buried in a coffin filled with concrete and a double depth so that his body wouldn't be stolen or mutilated. The words he uttered shortly before dying are chilling. I was born with the devil in me. I could not help the fact that I was a martyr, no more than the poet can help the inspiration to sing. I was born with the evil one standing as my sponsor beside the bed where I was ushered into the world. And he has been with me since. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like it. And if you want to see more Draw My Life videos, subscribe to our channel. See you in the next episode!